What's up guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm back with the replication series because a viewer asked me to replicate sound. How can we, when we shoot a weapon we make the shoot sound, and we wanted to replicate through the clients. That's fairly simple, I believe, so it shouldn't take long. But I need to apologize because in the last video where I did the scoreboard, I kind of left things in order because the video was huge and it took me the entire night to upload, but I shouldn't leave stuff off done. So I just explained quickly what you should do. You probably did it, but I shouldn't assume that you guys know. So I'm gonna go back and just quickly finish that. It's on our scoreboard, on our graph, and actually no, it's on the player info. Going to the graph and going to your get key text, you should have bind that where you got this stuff. So the issue was when we killed someone, for example, we have 5 kills and 0, that's the key will be 0, because 5 dividing by 0 is basically null, so it's default 0. So I'm going to fix that. So basically if that's equals 0, let me just drag this up. First of all, we're going to check if that's equal 0. And so just drag from the boolean. If that's equal 0 and kills are bigger than 0, meaning we have a positive key. Actually no, let me just yeah, that's actually true. So if this is true, so if we have kills and we have 0 deaths, the key is going to be equal to the kills. So I'm just gonna connect this up. There you go. And I'm just gonna connect the true over here. And now from if it's false, I'm actually gonna do something else. So now we need to know where if we have no, actually we don't, because if we have 0 kills and 5 deaths, the key will be 0, so that stays the same. So if it's false, I guess we can just connect the node back to the divider, connect this to false. But we can just quickly test to see if this is working. So I'm just going to go with the server. I'm going to kill this guy, and I'm going to kill this guy. Now I go back and you can see that my key is 2, although I have 2 kills and 0 deaths. So that's the fix for what I tried to explain. It's actually simple. But now I'm going to take care of replicating the sound. So I'm going to close the scoreboard and the player info. We're not going to need that. Now you're going to have to find where we shoot. And that's over here. So find this function, client fire, where we have our line trace by channel. And this is, well, if we hit someone, we're going to want to play a sound. So the node is play sound, so you can just search for it, play sound at location. There you go. But we can't just connect this because remember we want to replicate the sound to everyone on the server. We just don't want to make it on the client. Remember on the first video I talked about the multicast. It basically works for effects, so sounds and particle effects. So that's what we're going to use today. So I'm going to find here some space. I'm going to create a custom event. First of all, I'm going to say server play. Just going to call it play effects. And remember, when you multicast something, you need to execute it on the server. So I'm going to create another one. I'm going to say multicast underscore play effects, and just select multicast, make it reliable. And now we're gonna have to do, well, basically drag the sound. Now just drag the connection into over here, so you connect the pin, and actually we can just connect both of them. So just drag the sound and create another pin. Now go over here and call the multicast Okay, multicast. There you go. Because the reason that I'm doing first on the server is because a client cannot directly call a multicast, because multicast basically is going to replicate to everyone, and only the server can replicate with other clients. So clients cannot communicate directly. That's why the multicast needs to go through a server first. So just do the same thing, drag and drop these inputs. And now we're just going to call, well, server play effects. And the location is going to be the location of okay, we're going to need to do two things. Because this is the cast, this is only going to execute when we eat someone, so we want to make this sound the eat effect. So you want to modify these values to, you know, like a splash of blood effect, like a pain sound or something like that. And the location is going to be the location of our line net. So, you know, this information here from the eat result. And the sound, I don't have any custom sound, so I'm just going to set them to, I guess, explosion 1. Now I'm going to Control C and Control V. Now you're going to have one that comes from the cast failed. That is, if we don't eat anything, because we still want to hear the gun firing even if we don't eat anything. And we want to connect from this play effect, so we want to play 2 of them. And this one is going to be at the location of this player. So you can get the actor location and connect that up. And basically the sound, you select your sound, this will be the fire of the gun, for example, an M4 sound, or you know, a pistol sound, whatever you want. But I don't have custom assets, so I'm just going to use explosion 2, and hopefully we would hear stuff working. Now it's a little bit difficult to hear stuff in editor, because if you focus on the window, you're just going to hear sound from that window. You won't hear from the other one. But oh, I just misclicked. Let me just close and open again. So, and I've been having a bug. I don't know if you guys noticed. I think I did it on the other video where sound didn't. Okay, it's too loud. Okay. So you better lower your volume. I don't know if it's ear raping you. Sorry about that. So I'm basically firing. Okay, so you can hear that on the explosion there is kind of an echo. I am going to fire again, and then I'm going to quickly switch to another window, and we hopefully should hear the sound like the echo of the other explosion. So let me try and do that. Okay, that didn't work because I fired again. Let me try that again. So if you hear that, you can fire and then quickly click on the other window, and you can kind of hear the rest of the explosion on this client. So as you can see that the sound is correctly replicating. It's kind of easier if you have like 2 computers, one next to each other, like with 2 headphones, like you can correctly hear stuff. But yeah, this is the basics of replicating sound, and the same thing you would do with like particle effects. So you could go over here and just like spawn emitter attached, and basically you just attach this to the component. I think you can attach it to a location, so you just can drag on from this location. Actually, it's not over here, sorry. On the multicast, do this on the multicast next to the play sound effect, connect the location, and then I think you need to do snap to target, keep rolled scale, and then you can just select the effect. But I guess you probably would want to create a separate variable for this, because you only want to actually no, what we want is to go to the emitter and create a new input. Go back here, and this is the impact sound, so on the player itself. So I'm going to just spawn some fire, I guess, and from the weapon, the muzzle flash of our weapon, I'm just going to do an explosion. And because these things have custom sound, just lower your volume, and the sounds is just going to be a mess. But now take a look at your oh, actually you can see it. But you should see that it's replicating. If I kind of look at you. Okay, now we have a problem because I don't have any weapons, so normally you'll just attach that to the weapon, and then like you get the location of a muzzle flash, like of a socket location, like on the weapon. It's a little bit difficult to show, but the principle is the same. As the sound works, the emitter will also work. So yeah, that's it. Basically, if I had the weapon mesh, I'll just pass it through the variable here. Just connect, for example, an equipped weapon, pass it through here, then get the equipped weapon from here, get socket at location. I would go to the mesh and create a socket like called muzzle flash location, and then I'll just get this node, get socket location. You'd connect the target to the equipped weapon, and then you just put here the name of the socket, and then we'll just plug that in. And if you want to create a socket to a static mesh or a skeletal mesh, it's basically the same thing. Just gonna find a random mesh over here. So I'm just gonna go to the table, and there is something over here called socket manager. You create a socket, you give it a name, for example, muzzle flash, and then just go over here and show the pivot, show pivot, and as you can see over here, you can get your socket, and you can just, for example, drag this to the muzzle of the weapon, put it right there, and basically use the system that I explained. And yeah, that way you could correctly spawn the emitter, and just play around with location type. Sometimes some location types don't really work well, other times they do. So play around with this once you get what you want to look. But the replication will work, as you can see, using the system, both for sound and other effects. Remember to only use multicast with this kind of stuff that quickly disappears, like sound or quick particle effects and stuff. So anything else that you want me to do, leave me in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.